Let's have a look on how we change our object's stroke and fill and opacity and whatever opacity is. We know that we have several options to change stuff. If I select this item, I can change my colors and stroke color, my fill and stroke up here, and I can change my stroke size here. And over here I can also kind of click on the colors and then it suddenly changes, and I can change it from appearance. If I select more than one object, how do I do that? I just click outside here and then drag into it and then release, and then I have selected two objects. Or I can click on this object, press down Shift key and click on another object. Then I have selected more than one. Then I can see up here that, oh, they're similar. So they have the same information up here. And over here I have also the same information. What if I select these two objects? Oh, mixed appearance, but the stroke is black on both of them and it has the same size. What if I select even more? Well, now it's very mixed. But up here, it just tells me that the stroke is the same color and question mark on fill because I have different fills around. Now I select these two and I would like to change them. So I can rather go to my appearance and say my stroke should be bigger and the color is defined as being magenta in this term. And then I can click on the arrow here and then I can make some changes to opacity. Okay, I do that, opacity, and I take it a bit down. Now my opacity is kind of dimmed. Then when I have this one, I can see that there it sounds pink. It looks like pink. What if I do the same with this one and I take my stroke and put it up and I say my opacity on that stroke should also be like 40-50%. Now it becomes gray. Oh my god, look, it got like kind of multicolored because my stroke is actually placed in the middle of my vector shape here. So if I click on this stroke bottom here, then I have more options and I can say my stroke, where is it actually? Is it inside, on the middle, halfways, or outside? Okay, three options here for placement of the stroke. Very important. Okay, what if I take my fill color and say that it should also have some kind of opacity, different opacity than my stroke? That's what I can, because it's divided into stroke and fill. Now I take this one where my fill and stroke has an opacity, and then you can see it's kind of transparent. Opacity makes things transparent. So I can use it for nice effects. And if this one is kind of arranged into the back, then you can see that the stroke of my other magenta is suddenly popping in, and I can't see this one because it's now in the back. If I want to change more objects, I can just select them and say all these ones are having the same kind of stroke. I don't want to have it in a color. I just delete it by clicking on none, and then suddenly the stroke disappears. Then this one doesn't really have any color at all. Now I would like to give them some opacity, for instance. Then I choose this opacity and go down to 50%. All three of them are now having 50% in opacity. I deselect and I can move them around, and you can see that get a bit like douched in the colors. And if they overlap, I can see that, oh, okay, opacity is basically kind of like transparent. That is opacity. So what can I do if I want to kind of remove it all? I just click on my object and I say this one has to go. Then I can go into my opacity here and take it back. Now it has no opacity at all. And over here, the other two items can be seen because they're on top of this one. So I can do nice designs on my stuff if I work a little bit with opacity. That is how you do it. But remember, if I take my zoom tool here, you can really see the difference, like my magenta is actually having some nice nifty effects here. Now I zoom in a different way. You learned how to zoom before, but look, I can kind of drag to the right, then I zoom in, drag to the left, I zoom out, in and out, in and out. Awesome, always learning something new, eh? So that was basically it. Now you know how you use appearance, because in appearance we actually have our stroke color we can choose, our stroke options. It's kind of all in one box. over here. Appearance is your new friend because this is the control tower of your object. How you use it is basically click on the object you want to control, go over here and figure out what would you like to do. In my fill, I have an individual opacity. If I take this one and put it up to 100, and I take my opacity for my stroke, and I say both stroke and opacity should have the same, my stroke and fill should have the same opacity, then I use this one. There's 3 ways. This is only for fill, this is only for stroke, this is for both. Okay. So if we do this, then it's both of them that actually have the same value. Awesome. That is why you have 3 options, because Illustrator takes care of you. Nice.